Today we learned that Unity is merging with Ironsource in an all-stock deal, and unfortunately it seems like Unity investors are not excited as the stock is down roughly 15.5%. Me being a Unity shareholder, and it's also one of my top positions, there are a lot of things that I don't like about this agreement, but there are a few things that I think make sense, and I'll discuss a little bit more in today's episode. If this is your first time here, make sure to hit the thumbs up, make sure to hit the subscribe button, check out the pinned comment for a lot of great links, my tech channel, and also my Discord channel. So let's get started.
I do want to thank The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video, and make sure to check out fool.com/Jose to get the top 10 stocks to buy right now.
So as I am recording this episode, Unity is sitting at $33.29, down 16.24%. On the bright side, this is still higher than its 52-week low, which is roughly $29.09. And there are a few things happening right now. First, this kind of news that we're going to discuss, but also we do have kind of those macroeconomic news headlines that are coming out that are affecting growth stocks in general. Now, if we take a closer look at Ironsource, it's actually the opposite. Ironsource is up roughly 48.88% as I am recording this episode, sitting at $3.32. So for those not familiar with Ironsource, they create a platform to turn your apps into a business. Their platforms are meant for either developers or mobile operators. It helps with stuff like user growth, monetization, analytics, creative management, publishing, and so much more. So we can see this works really well with Unity's Operate solutions, which is things like monetization, user growth. So I do want to say this kind of merger makes sense. The other thing I think that is pretty interesting is Ironsource is not a pure gaming play, right? They work with all types of applications. So this is another kind of way for Unity to kind of enter or to kind of spread outside of the gaming market. I'm not too sure how excited I am about that, but it does give Unity the optionality to kind of follow through to another market. Now let's take a closer look at the information from this merger. First, this is going to be an all-transaction deal from Unity and values Ironsource at a $4.4 billion, representing roughly 74% premium to its 30-day average. Obviously, the moving average is exactly that, average, but if you take a closer look to the market cap of yesterday, it's actually over a 90% premium. And once the deal is closed, current Unity stockholders will approximately hold 73.5%, and current Ironsource shareholders will own approximately 26.5% of the combined business. So originally when I looked at this was my first dislike, but my mind has kind of changed over time. First, I'm like, hey, I don't want to give away 25% or 26.5% of my ownership in Unity, right? That's in theory what's happening. Obviously, we're getting a new company. So at first, I'm like, man, Unity is kind of overpaying for this company right now and giving away too much market share. But then I actually decided to take a closer look at a few kind of metrics of Ironsource and Unity, taking a closer look at kind of revenue trailing 12 months and gross profit margins. So remember, the new combined business will be roughly 75% Unity, 25% Ironsource. So in my mind, I would have thought that, hey, Unity is providing roughly 75% of the revenue and maybe even higher gross margins, and Ironsource is providing very, very little of revenue and very low gross margins. And that's not necessarily the case. Unity in its trailing 12 months has made about $1.2 billion in revenue, and Ironsource has actually made $600 million. So to me, that's actually pretty impressive. So in the combined business, it does seem like Unity is providing 66% of the revenue and Ironsource is providing 33%. Ironsource also has higher gross profit margins compared to Unity. Ironsource gross profit margins is roughly 82.5%, where Unity's is roughly 75.86% in the most recent quarter. So now that I looked at this, don't think it's necessarily a bad move, but I could see at why initial investors would be a little bit upset. To me, what I think bothers me the most is this is a big investment on something outside of just gaming, which is the company's core business, right? And while I am recording, my mind kind of changes a little bit. Another important point that I believe is Ironsource will be providing Unity with a lot of form of information and data sets that Unity can actually use to improve its kind of data analytics in the long term of things. Also, if you are curious on some stocks I'm looking at this week, make sure to check out the video above. Here they mentioned that the deal would bring together the Unity game engine and editor, Unity Ads, and the rest of Unity gaming services with Ironsource's best-in-the-class mediation and publishing platform, giving developers a seamless way to create, grow, and monetize their creation across their life cycles. In the near term, Ironsource's mediation platform will leverage the combined strength of the two companies' ad network to deliver increased user reach and data scale and provide an increased return on ad spend to advertisers. So we do know that advertisement is a big play for Unity. So obviously that makes sense for that business. They also mentioned that telcos will also benefit from the combination of Unity and Ironsource, which will provide them with enhanced opportunities to leverage interactive gaming and real-time 3D experiences on devices. I do believe the bigger winners right now are Ironsource, but maybe I'm just that bullish on Unity. Remember, I mentioned this is going to be an all-stock deal. So in return to kind of fight dilution, Unity board authorizes a share buyback program of $2.5 billion. At the same time, even though this is an all-stock deal, Unity is actually building up some cash by Silver Lake and Sequoia, who are investing an aggregate $1 billion in Unity in the form of convertible notes to be issued at the closing of transaction. Unfortunately, outside the merger, there was also some bad news for Unity's kind of future revenue guidance. First, they mentioned that Ironsource reaffirms their second quarter and full year 2022 guidance that it provided in its first quarter. So it's pretty good for Ironsource. Unity actually expects their second quarter results to be slightly higher than the top end guidance they gave during their first earnings call. And remember, in the first earnings call, they kind of reduced their guidance for the year and for the quarter, but the company says, hey, we actually are doing a little bit better than expected, so our second quarter is better. Unfortunately, Unity does say that macroeconomics is affecting the company a lot harder than initially expected, so they actually reduced their full year 2022 guidance by roughly $50 million on the low end and roughly $75 million in the high end. I do want to say kind of this advertisement and monetization business is one that really pushed this company to go out there and purchase Ironsource. At the end of the day, I am a little bit torn with this merger. I do believe this merger is really good for Ironsource shareholders. I do believe as a Unity shareholder, I wish it was at a cheaper price. I want to say, I think it's at a fair price, right? I think it's at a fair price. I don't believe Unity is kind of overpaying for this, especially when we saw that revenue and kind of trailing 12 months gross profit margins. But I wish it wasn't a fair price, right? I wish Unity would have been able to gotten a better price for Ironsource opposed to what it's paying. I'm still super bullish on Unity in the long term. This is no reason for me to sell, but it's telling me, Jose, maybe this is a company that's changing a little bit compared to where you want to invest. So maybe take a closer look at to see if the new company is something you still want to own. From the top level right now, I do believe Unity is still a company I want to own for numerous reasons. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Take care, have a good day, and see you next time.